hold onto them tightly. I will not be able to retrieve anything that falls off my bus. Whatever falls off can and will belong to the squirrels out there. And I include you and any little ones on board. Unless you want to live among squirrels, please also be sure you're being safe on my bus here today. I appreciate with all your help in that. Also, lots of greenery. Do not grab or pluck any of our plants, please. Many of them are endangered, and many have thorns. For your safety, for the plant safety, just keep those little fingers inside. With that all being said, we have reached our first stop here in Southeast Asia, more specifically Malaysia, which happens to be home to the Malayan tiger. Now, I have a really important question for all you friends on board. Does anyone know why tigers have stripes?
They got burnt.
They got burnt. It's because they don't want to be spotted. So if you can't see him out there, it means he's doing a great job at blending in. It also means that maybe our survival skills aren't as sharp as we need them to be. But don't worry, we'll be practicing them all along our journey today. I recommend coming by again later on if you can to check out our Malayan tigers. You see, all tigers in the world are threatened. The majority are going to be endangered. But the tigers like the Malayan tiger are actually critically endangered. That means they're really close to extinction. In fact, at one point, there were over 3,000 Malayan tigers in the world. Now, only about 250 to 350 left in existence. And they estimate that of those, just a little over 100 are in the wild. That means the majority of them are going to be in captivity. Our Malayan tigers are part of our species survival plan, which I'll go into more later on today. But our goal is to help save them from extinction. All wildlife is going to have their role to play out here in their natural environments. And tigers actually help to maintain balance in their own environment by keeping the prey populations at a steady population size. Now, as we continue onward, I do see one of our Allen swamp monkeys out there. Hi, friend. If you go to Treetops Way later today, you may meet more of our primates, actually. And actually, a really important question. Who knows the best way to tell the difference between a monkey and an ape? All you gotta do is look for the tail. You see, monkeys will most always have tails, unless they lost it somehow. And apes do not have tails. Think of orangutans, gorillas, bonobos, us, no tails on us. And with that, I have some great news for all my parents on board. Unless you or your little ones are sitting on a tail I don't know about, that means none of you here are monkeys. And I know parents have been wondering about their little ones for quite some time now. Now you know for certain.
There
Now,
are
if you've been
people
here before, you probably noticed our flamingos are back at the front plaza. But we also have another type of flamingo. We're going to meet them right now on our left-hand side. These are the American flamingos. They are more bright and vibrant than the ones in the front, which are the African flamingos, and probably more what you think of when you think of a flamingo. In fact, when you say flamingo, usually people think of pink birds, right? But when they hatch, they're not actually pink. In fact, they're more of a grayish-brown color and won't turn pink until later on in their lifetime. This pink color comes from their diet, so they eat lots of crustaceans before they turn pink. And that always makes me wonder, if we were all flamingos aboard our bus here today, and we turn the color of food we eat most often, I want you to think about what color you might end up turning. Because if we're going to be honest with each other, I'd probably be red like a hot Cheeto. But I'm sure we have a beautiful rainbow aboard our bus here today. Speaking of rainbows, a group of flamingos is known as a flamboyant. So we'd be a rainbow flamboyant hanging out on my bus here today. Beautiful. Now on our left, we did pass by that yellow kangaroo sign with a number 2 in it. I just want to clarify, does not mean we have yellow kangaroos at the zoo. I get that question quite often. That is the bus stop for our kangaroo bus. Think of the kangaroo bus kind of like a city bus, but here at our zoo, we have 4 stops located throughout our zoo where we come every 15 minutes to pick you up and drop you off. It's included with admission and a great way to get around. So, I recommend taking advantage of it. If you want to meet our tigers later, stop 2 might be the stop for you. But as we make our way up this hill, I want you to keep your eyes peeled to our right-hand side because The corner habitat over there is home to our zebras and common eland. And sometimes we get a really good view of our zebras' backsides or booties from here. So if you get lucky, you might see some zebras. I see some people looking to our left. I know, most dangerous thing you'll see all day today, Southern California drivers. But I like all the hoofed animals on our right-hand side, including our common eland, which share this habitat. They're one of the many different types of antelope who live on this hill. I do see one of those zebras out there. Hi, friend. In fact, we have a lot of different types of antelope, including our kudus, some gazelles, and hopefully soon we'll see our bunkaboks and caraducks. On our left-hand side, we have polar punch, which is home to, you guessed it, our polar friends like the polar bear. Now, the only thing is our polar bear is best seen from inside of polar plunge around this time of day. You usually can't view him from our bus at this time, so I recommend coming back to polar plunge to check them out. But as we make our way up this hill, I want to see if we can find our bunkabok out there. Now, bunkaboks are a type of antelope with really long horns. And actually, at one point, they almost went extinct with only 17 of them left. I see one right over there. You guys are getting the front tour today. They're giving us all their backsides. But these guys actually are doing a lot better now with help from our breeding programs, allies. And there was actually this farmer who let them onto his land, not knowing it was last few in existence, and gave them a safe place to live and raise their young. Unknowingly, it helped to increase their population size. So you never know when that small act of kindness can have a big impact. Now his next door neighbor is one of my favorites. This is the little Garanup you're going to see on our right hand side. Now Garanup means giraffe-like neck. Look at how long his neck is for such a little man. Now, he'll use that long neck to eat leaves up high. But what happens if he can't reach any higher? Well, he'll actually swivel his hips to stand on two legs just like you and me. So if you pass by here and you see that antelope standing up like a person, that is most likely going to be our Garanup out there trying to reach more food. And our Garanup does live next door to these Chicoan peccaries. And I know peccaries look like pigs, but they're not pigs. Peccaries are their own species. In fact, peccaries are really great gardeners. But not in the way that you and I know how to garden. Actually, these guys, when they eat, they spit out seeds that are too large to swallow, poop out the little ones, and even carry other seeds on their fur. This helps them plant new plants all around their area. On our left side, passing right above us, this is going to be the Sky Quarry West. Not the fastest way to get around, but you get a really beautiful view of our downtown area, and is the least amount of walking back to the front of the zoo. So great way to end your day here later today. On our right, we also have Mowgli's 4D Adventure. If you've never seen a 4D movie, they have really cool wind, movement, and water effects. It's worth checking out. It's about $8 a person to see, and can get you off your feet for just a little while.
I don't know. But that's
Up
only
ahead,
for
we're going to
mom
be
and
cruising
me.
by Kangaroo Bus Stop
I
number
know.
3. The best stop for you if you want to check out Polar Plunge later today. Now, I will warn you about this area later today if you're passing through and you start to smell something a little skunky, a little funky. Don't be so quick to blame your friends on board. Although I cannot guarantee it wasn't them. Actually, everyone take a deep breath in. You smell that faint funk, little skunk? That's actually the main wolf who lives on the right side of us. Typically, you won't see them during the day because they are crepuscular, so they like dusk and dawn hours. But you'll usually smell them when you pass by, and they can get pretty pungent out here. So just be mindful while you're exploring. You might smell some sneaky maned wolf smells. They'll actually use that scent as a way to communicate, mark territory, and even attract mates. Really quickly, I want to introduce you guys to our furry little friends out here. I see one of them. He looks like a little fuzzy potato. You guys see him? That is the rock hyrax. Now that little potato is not only adorable, but his closest living relative actually might surprise you. When people see him, usually they're like, oh, he kind of looks like a gopher or a beaver. But his closest living relative is actually the elephant. I know, a little bit of a size difference, but I promise you it is true. It has to do with their mammary glands and their itty bitty little tusks they have. He is quite adorable, and I love that when his little fur is pushing out. So cute. We actually have a few of them in Africa Rocks if you want to visit them later today.
Scared it.
Now, continuing forward, I recommend coming back to this habitat to check out our lions. It looks like they might have gone inside for the time being. Even wildlife gets a little shy and needs a break now and again. So
I think all they can see is my nostrils.
See what else we can find out here.
Why don't you pause it and then start it again?